Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew, and today we finally can do it. The review of the Playmates Godzilla vs. Kong Giant Godzilla. Now, this figure is flippin' amazing. I'm not gonna lie. It, like, having it in hand finally, we're not going to do the review like this. Let's actually flip over to the view that you guys are normally used to. So you guys might notice that I have a slightly different setup than usual, even though it's just the same kind of figure display kind of thing. Adjusting my camera stand, tripod. There we go. There's the beauty and all of his glory. That's actually because okay, without hitting the camera, going under some room renovations. So once again, I'm still under those. It's gonna be a little bit because I have a ton of stuff to bring in, ton of stuff to bring out, etc. So let me just go out and say this figure was actually bigger than I expected, because I initially thought he was gonna be a tad bit smaller, but he's actually like way bigger. First up, let's start with the sculpt and paint. The sculpt is pretty decent, especially for something of Playmates. The eyes are a bit sloppily done, but again, the size of the eye for Godzilla was never really big anyway, even though in reality it's probably like, I don't know, like 30 feet. The eye paint's looking pretty good. Other side, I have to swing it across. Looks more well placed, so it's not that bad. The teeth, they're actually much better painted on the this one than they are on the 6-inch ones, because the 6-inch ones are just big white strips. These are actually individually painted, and I think they're a different color too. The tongue is the same color though, but it's much more better painted. But of course they didn't paint the membranes or any of the gums inside. But hey, if you're a very heavy customizer, heavy painter, stop hitting the camera. Okay, I'm gonna move the camera back. It's perfectly fine on its own merit. The spines are what really seal the show, because they are just caked in blue. Look at all of that. This is truly a work of beauty. Look at that. But I will say, the spines are fairly flimsy, like very much rubbery. And not to mention, mine's actually caked in a lot of paint towards the back, which is kind of odd because my other Godzilla, the radio tower, has the opposite problem. So I guess it's kind of a win-win, lose-lose, whatever you want to say. And the tail doesn't really have any paint, but it has definitely more of that fantastic sculpted paint. Or sculpt, more sculpt, I guess. Another thing I also want to point out is, like, the claw paint as well. It's kind of a brownish kind of color. Same thing with the radio tower one. Essentially, this figure's sculpt and paint-wise is a upscale of the radio tower. Even down to the same paint that's used. Bottom of the feet look pretty good. Lego mumbo jumbo, kind of scuff stuff at the bottom of the toes. And I think let's address the elephant in the room, the screw holes. Lots of people have commented over the past 2 years that they don't like the screw holes. I understand why. And to be fair, it's a common problem on a lot of figures. But then again, I don't really mind these screw holes. I think it's just due to the fact that over the years I've had a lot of different toys that had screw holes, even before my obsession with Godzilla. So having screw holes on a Godzilla figure like this isn't really like a huge problem for me. And I will say, yeah, again, the feet are really well painted, really well sculpted, at least decently to a degree. Not really sure how in-depth you want me to go with it, down to the very minor, intricate details. It's like you know what you're getting. You know what Godzilla looks like. You know what to expect from this figure by now, probably. And in fact, you probably already own this figure. For articulation, he has nothing at the head or jaw, which you think they would place like a jaw hinge in there. So I guess this is more reminiscent of a Bandai vinyl. For the shoulders, you can actually get a... Is it a full degree rotation? No, it is not. I think if you were to push it, but given how cheap this plastic is, you can kind of already start to see it split. Probably not. But you can get a 360 on the wrists, which is pretty nice. Nothing at the waist, but you do get some stuff at the hips, the legs. So you can kick back about that far, and kick forward about that far. Same with this leg, back and forth, nicely done. And both feet can rotate. Although do keep in mind that there's this ankle part that a lot of companies like to just leave like that. Even NECA did this. So when you go to rotate it, you might end up splitting the plastic a little bit. See, you'll see there's no split. And then I'll start to do it, and then you'll kind of start to notice there's kind of a split right there. Yeah. Not to mention there's some scuff and grindage. So I'd be very cautious about the ankle joints. Probably just not move at all. And of course, where you attach the tail, you get a rotation out of it. So, pretty good articulation and sculpt and paint for such a large Playmates figure. I'm really impressed by this thing. For a size comparison, here he is with some of the 6-inch offerings from Playmates, which, as you can see, definitely tiny. In order of how I just put them down: Heat Ray Godzilla, Radio Tower Godzilla, and Battle Roar Godzilla, which, also if you're wondering what this thing is, this is my other shelf. Not for Godzilla, but just for miscellaneous stuff. And as you can see, yeah, he is basically a larger version. If not, he's slightly bluer, like on the body. And I was kind of curious, even though this is not going to work at all. I mean, he's a Godzilla. We got to try this. No heat ray? I mean, he can kind of do it. Looks more like he's smoking, though. And to my surprise, he can kind of hold the radio tower, which is probably better in scale than the scale that this guy's in. And here he is with the 10-inch Funko Pop, and what was at one point my largest Godzilla figure in my collection, the Godzilla 2014 Bandai figure, which these two are actually kind of in scale now that I think about it. 108 meters, 120 meters. Also, if anyone's wondering, he's heavier than both of these two probably combined, so that's definitely a plus. And for the comparison that you guys have probably been waiting for, here he is with the Playmates Giant Kong. Let the battle of centuries begin! Alright, so this shot took me a while to set up, but that being said, I recommend this figure. If you guys want to pick this up, go to your local Walmart, because they're reissuing this guy and a bunch more figures from the Playmates line, both of them, in new Monsterverse and Toho Classic Series lines. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everyone.